Every minute, a child below the age of 5 dies from malaria. To give you perspective, that's 1,440 children who lose their lives every day to a preventable and treatable illness. My name is Kikuza Hakim. I'm the founder of MariTest, where we are using AI to end malaria. My journey with malaria started from a personal experience during my school internship on a remote island in Uganda. And this was mainly because the community lacked a healthcare facility to provide me with the diagnosis that I needed on time. In 2022, over 240 million people suffered from malaria. Unfortunately, more than 500,000 of them died from it. 95% of these deaths were in one region, Sub-Saharan Africa. Why Sub-Saharan Africa? This is mainly because this region lacks access to early and accurate malaria diagnosis. And this has greatly impacted, burdened the existing healthcare systems, burdening the economic growth and impacting the children's education future. You may be asking yourself, what's malaria? Well, malaria is caused by a Plasmodium parasite that is transmitted by a female Anopheles mosquito, predominant in tropical and subtropical regions. It basically infects the red blood cells. It has over 5 variants in Sub-Saharan Africa. But the good news is, this is preventable and treatable. So how is it currently being diagnosed? We recently conducted a survey that unraveled that only 10% of healthcare facilities in this region rely on microscopy, as these are expensive to operate. They require laboratory environments and skilled laboratory technicians who are scarce. Majority of them rely on rapid diagnostic test kits, just like the COVID test. But the problem with this cannot detect malaria early enough. It cannot quantify how severe malaria is, and it can only detect one variant. Remember, the region has over 5 variants. As a turn, there is low accuracy of this, and treatment cannot be accorded accordingly. This together has put 2 in 5 people globally at risk of getting malaria by 2030. Just look at your neighbor in the room. 2 people there at risk of getting malaria by 2030. But don't be scared. We got you. Allow me to introduce to you MariTest, the world's first AI-powered, bloodless, handheld malaria diagnostic device. Exciting, right? So how does it work? When the Plasmodium enters the body, it interacts with the red blood cell, digesting the hemoglobin. This interaction creates a byproduct called hemosin, which has a distinctive paramagnetic signature. And we designed our device to detect that. Simple, right? But here's the problem. In the communities where this is much of a burden, the healthcare systems has volunteers who are semi-skilled healthcare providers at the front line. So meaning the technology like ours wouldn't work there, right? So we thought of it, and we made it better to work in these communities. How? We made sure that this does use biosensors to pick up the magnetic waves from the hemosins. It does this bloodlessly, meaning it can be done at the community level. It has AI algorithm to interpret these magnetic waves into readable diagnosis that even a semi-skilled healthcare provider can interpret. And because it's vital for us to use data, we use this. We saw this during the COVID pandemic. We made sure that we have a GPRS system to report live these cases for monitoring and surveillance. How does it look for a patient? They simply have to place their finger onto the device. The device does the diagnosis, displays it on the screen in approximately 5 minutes, and this is shared in real time. We have so far conducted 70 technical trials, achieving a 60% accuracy of positivity rate. This is a promising start as we continue to further develop our technology. But how profitable is this market, right? Globally, the malaria diagnostic market has over $800 million in market value, with rapid diagnostic test kits dominating 60% of that. And we aim to capture 10% of it. And why would people choose us over RDTs? Simply because we are non-invasive, meaning we are safe to use even at a homestead level. We can detect all variants, unlike the MRGTs. We can identify all species of the Plasmodium and even reusable. We're not the only people looking into the future of non-invasive diagnosis. In fact, Yale and Johns Hopkins are doing similar technologies with different approaches, but ours stands out as the most usable, affordable, and easy to scale in these regions. We operate a B2B business model whereby healthcare facilities will be able to get our devices at only 50 cents per test. We also have custom prices for. So, how are we going to reach these markets? Through 4 phases. First, get the regulatory approval, pilot studies, joint market launch, and by our 5th year, we'll be ready to scale into the Ugandan market. So far, we have conducted 100 interviews on health workers, raised 10 grants, done 2 prototypes, ran technical trials, and recently we won the Best Development Project by the Africa Society of Oxford University. So what's in next for us? We will be running our validation studies. After that, we'll do clinical trials, obtain regulatory approval, and then launch for a paid pilot. With a profit margin of 68%, we aim to break even in our 3rd year of operation. We have so far raised 10 grand. Our next funding round is 350,000 for our clinical validation studies. After that, we'll be raising 3 million. So who are the people working on this? We're a diverse team from backgrounds in engineering, business, mathematics, and medicine. We also have an extended team in Africa supporting us, and we're blessed with 5 advisors supporting us on this. These are the current partners that we're working with, and these are the partners that we aim to work with in the future. You remember this number, 1440. This is the number of kids who will die today, tomorrow, and the next day. These are not just statistics. These are real lives, real families, and the future generation at stake. It's very urgent for us to act now, and we hope you join us, and let's get these numbers down. We are Team MariTest.